And it's really and easy to do that. Just go to globalpeacetribe.com, globalpeacetribe.com, and sign up. It takes about a minute to register, and then you'll automatically be brought into our Zoom room. And that's great because we interact a lot. And this is going to be a very interactive show. We've got wonderful guest presenters, I should say, because it is a Teresa Collins show, Global Coherence Pulse. Once every 3 months, we get to collaborate with Teresa, and she always does a great job of bringing on wonderful guests, creating a wonderful theme, and we've got a really fun show. So go to globalpeacetribe.com and join us. I also want to welcome any of you watching the replay. We're discovering that more and more people every week are watching us live on our YouTube channel. But we also have a lot of you that watch the replay. And so welcome. Whether you're watching this live with us right now tonight or watching this years from now, welcome. And may you enjoy the beauty of tonight's show. It's going to be really a lot of fun. I'm honored to be here, and I'm really excited about our guests. And to tell you more about the show, here's Deborah.
Thank you, Scott, and welcome everyone. This is our 86th show that we've produced every Saturday night since the lockdown in April 2020, and it's the 8th show of season 7, A Glimpse of Heaven, and we will continue producing these shows through the end of the year. And again, we thank you so much for your donations when you register and donating to our donation portal, which is tax deductible, because that really allows us to continue to bring these shows to you every Saturday night. And yes, we are hosting another amazing show with Teresa Collins of Global Coherence Pulse. And tonight's theme is Living in the Current of Your Purpose, Celebrating Humanity Rising. Living your purpose. This can be one of the most exciting and energizing experiences of life. And these days, especially in the last 18 months, living your purpose is also extremely important because there is so much in the world that needs help right now. And I know Spirit has been downloading a lot of messages of new and expanded purposes to many of you. So are you ready to live a purpose-filled life and do your part midwifing the manifestation of a more harmonious life as we co-create the new earth? So we invite you to join us this week to this week's guests as we explore what it takes to live a heart-centered life of purpose and celebrate some of our accomplishments and growth over the last 18 months. So I'm going to introduce the group of amazing luminaries to you now. We are really happy to have Jim Garrison, who is the founder and president of Ubiquity University and Humanity Rising. He has produced a show every single day over the last 18 months of incredible information. So we're really happy to have him. We also have with us Ben Bowler, who is the executive director of Unity Earth, which is an empowering worldwide solutions for unity, purpose, and peace. And he has a history of innovation and spiritual tourism. And he has also produced incredible programming during his Unity Earth weeks. We also have Marshall Lefferts, who has a passion for cosmometry. And he's also a musician, a designer, a photographer, practitioner, a lover of life, as he dances through the adventure called life. Welcome, Marshall. And tonight, we're really happy to have True Osborne, who's a creative artist and influencer of many disciplines. He's a pillar of transformation, creative activation, and lives thousands and lives of thousands around the world. We are also going to have the Goodchild. She's a singer, philosopher, vocalist, teacher, author, founder of Naked Voice. She sings, teaches, performs, and records naked voice music. She's really incredible. So we're happy to have her. And for musicians, again, we have great musicians with Honey of the Heart. They are musical interpretations influenced by folk, soul roots, world flamenco. They've been with us many times. They definitely are their name. They are Honey of the Heart. Thanks for being with us again.
Thanks for having us.
Wonderful. And we have also Theo Grace, who's a Canadian born singer, songwriter, musician, producer, father, and husband. And he sings to serve the planetary awakening in his life and his music. Welcome, Theo.
It's great to be here.
And we're also really happy to have again the poetry of Wendy Grace. She is a wonderful spirit-inspired goddess whose creativity, power, and heart is devoted to the healing and evolution of humanity, and especially the awakening of the human family. And we are happy to have this show hosted by Teresa Collins, who is the founder of Global Coherence Pulse. She brings over 20 years of innovation, online education, learning community development, and whole system strategic development to projects and community that she serves. Welcome, Teresa.
Thank you, guys. So happy to be here.
And as you know, during every show, we have a beneficiary of the show. We use the power of community to take in all the green love, your donations, whether small or large, and give it back. We've generated about 125,000 to community organizations and people in need. And tonight we are going to be supporting Saturday Night Alive so that we can continue to produce these shows for you in 2022. We really need to have this budget going forward that will allow us to produce the shows and give all that we can back to you. So thank you for your donations, and we'll put information in the chat room and share more about that later. But now I want to bring on Teresa Collins. She is an amazing woman. She lives her passion. She lives her purpose every single breath. I can tell you that. Again, she's the co-founder of Global Coherence Pulse and Islands of Coherence Networks. She's been on her purpose for over 20 years, creating innovative online education, learning community development, and she's extremely dedicated to these times. She also started Global Coherence Pulse, just like when Scott and I did with Saturday Night Live. So we've been partnering together, and she's come and brought us an amazing show every single season, mid-month, and we deeply appreciate it. And this, again, tonight is going to be another incredible show. So thank you, Teresa, for being with us, and I'm going to turn this over to you now.
Thank you, guys. I love doing these Pulse and Saturday Night Alive double hitters, double features. I want to see in the chat how many people came and were with us this morning on the Pulse. We were exploring the global coherence in these unprecedented times. We had Jim Garrison on, which we're going to have a clip from him that he recorded right after the Pulse. And it was such an amazing moment today to just really keep claiming how essential the quality of our presence is and the impact that it can have on really shifting the tide of what's happening right now in this just precarious and potentiated moment. And so I'm really excited to be able to be with you guys. And I loved that this is the theme, or this season, the 7th season, is a glimpse of heaven, because I think that's what we experience today. And that's what I want to kind of evoke in this conversation about living in the current of your purpose, because living in the current of your purpose is experiencing heaven on earth. It's really the feeling of being the note, the unique note that you are, and expressing it loudly and boldly and courageously and softly and sweetly and full of the uniqueness that you are on behalf of the whole, knowing that you are a part of that whole of life dancing and unfolding right now. So I'm really excited to be here. And I feel like I'm kind of gushing a little bit because we did have such a powerful pulse this morning. And I think what I need right now is I actually need to take a moment to center. And we always do that at the beginning of our sessions, meetings that we have, everything. Just take a minute to feel the bottom of your feet. Wow. When I do that, it instantly takes me out of my head and right down to where I connect with this beautiful planet that we live on. What a privilege What an absolute privilege to be here right now. And as we were saying on the pulse this morning, like taking time out of your day to be here right now, or to be listening to the recording right now, and to contribute your presence and your heart, it has an impact. And if we can all just bring our awareness into the center of our heart and let that be where we're resting today, our hearts and our belly and our feet. And just breathing in and out of our heart. Breathing in and out of the field that we all share. And let's have this next 2 hours be nourishing for us, because we need that right now. Those of us that are really ready to live the purpose that we were born to express, to sound our unique note on behalf of the whole. We need to be nourished. So let's be nourished tonight. Let's inspire each other tonight. And let's let the feelings that rise up, these positive emotions, let's pulse them into the field, like my prayer spiral behind me. This is one of my prayer spirals I do on the beach. And as we feel these feelings, let's let it just pulse out of our hearts. We'll join the energy from this morning into this evening tonight. And I'm just going to say one thing about the theme, and then I'm just going to go right in, because I don't want to take up too much time, and then we don't have time for everybody's sharing. So when I say living in the current of our purpose, this is something that I have my 100% attention on. I think it's always been what I had my attention on. And living, by adding that word, to me, it means that it's emergent, that it's alive. It's not some destination that I'm going to reach. It's actually like right here unfolding before me, if I'm really, really living in the current of my purpose. And when I say current, it's because there's an energy that's lifting me, carrying me into the current of my purpose as I open and move with it. So there's this co-creative dance. And because this is what I have my attention on, I want to create a global experience where we really drop into what it takes to live the current of our purpose. So I've invited my friends to come, and I want to ask them what it is that they do to live in the current their purpose, because they all are, and really have a good conversation that I hope I learn something new that really supports me to keep letting go and let the life that I'm here to gift and express to just flow with grace and ease. So we're going to start with Honey of the Heart. It's always nice to start with some music, because it just kind of helps us to keep relaxing. And I've never met these two before. This is our first time. So I just want to say hello. So lovely to have you. And they're just going to bring us further into our heart, Honey of the Heart. Let's let them bring us into that space as we start this journey today.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much for the opportunity to play music again. I think this is our third or fourth time with you guys on Saturday Night Live. And we're going to start with a song called Boon Carrier. And you guys may have heard it before, but what we're going to really try and channel in this exact moment is this circle of rhythm. People always think of 3/4 or 4/4 in our Western music, and worldwide there's songs in 9, 11, 12, 13, 19, and this one's in 31, and we're gonna 31/4, and it circles back around, and the goal is that we all feel that rhythm is one at the end of the day. So I hope you guys enjoy, and we are Honey of the Heart. Really appreciate being here. it's safe to say matter is this state. We mold our fate to be what it is. Here, boom, body, boom, body, boom, body, 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 boom, body, boom, body, boom, body, body, body. Give all my thanks to know this size clear. The space divided still all sums to one. The space divided still all sums to one. The space divided still all sums to one. Boom, body, boom, body, boom, body, 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 boom, body, boom, body, boom, body, 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 boom, body, boom, body, boom, body, 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 boom, body, boom, body, boom, body, body, body. Don't call it can't call it don't call it can't call divine full of 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 get on the deep going now get on the Y'all travel far, not knowing when to stop. A top new star, somewhere near you are. It's safe to say, matter is this state. We mold our fate to be what it is.
Wow, thank you so much. That was absolutely beautiful.
Mhm.
Awesome. Thanks for having us, you guys, and hope you enjoy the music.
And luckily, we're going to get another song from them later on tonight. And you can learn all about them by going to honeyoftheheart.com.
Yeah, so what a beautiful way to start it out. And I heard you guys are going to have a little date night tonight. So I hope this starts your date night out right now. And you can feel all our love pouring back into you guys. And I know you have a little son, I heard, or
A little
yeah, so just sending some love to you guys.
awesome. Thanks so
Thank you
much
so
for having
much.
us, and we're gonna have a little wine and enjoy the show.
Great. Awesome. Well, we'll see you again. So I invited a number of friends to be in this conversation with me, this exploration with me about what it means to live in the current of our purpose right now in these unprecedented times. And I know one of the things for me has been the practice of cultivating greater coherence in the heart of my own life, like really choosing to be present right here in the face of whatever I'm facing, and to bring my love to it, to hospice what's, needing to fall away, and to really bring my courage and my presence into midwifing what's emerging in every moment. And it's not easy what we're facing into. And if you're like me, I don't want to be busy doing a bunch of things like I used to do on the other side of this lockdown and COVID and all of this kind of bifurcation. I really want to be about doing the part that I came to do so that I have time to care for myself and to care for my family and to care for this planet in the way I know is mine to do. And the other thing that I really need is I need to get really current, and I need to get sober about what's occurring all around me so that I can be really present to what's rising up to be my part. And I'm bringing on Jim Garrison tonight, and this is a pre-record from this morning. He did right after the pulse, but I always feel like Jim is so aware of everything that's going on the planet. And at the same time, he's committed to being in heart coherence and to bring that into everything he does. And so I wanted to invite him in. He's talking about the unprecedented moment that we're in. And if we're going to be in the current of our purpose, let's face into it full on without getting distracted by the story, but presencing what's occurring so that we can respond. So let's go to the clip from Jim. He was with us this morning. And if you didn't watch the pulse, please check it out.
Thank you, Teresa. And greetings, everyone. Just got off the Global Coherence Pulse with Apila Colorado and Claudia Wells and Cornflower, and feeling just a very deep sense of world unity. It's a true gift to know that you're in the company of people all over the world, that wherever they are, they're opening up their hearts to each other and to the planetary ecosystem and to sentient beings of all kinds. And I just want to acknowledge the importance of the Global Coherence Pulse. And what I said on the Pulse was really that global coherence now has become a critical imperative. It's easy to think about something like global coherence and heart coherence as something that you do for personal concerns, but I believe it is now a matter of national security. It's a matter of how we secure the human future. So I thought in the few minutes that I have, I would expand that theme. But first, I just wanted to say a little bit about what we've been doing at Ubiquity University through the Humanity Rising initiative. We were caught like everybody else was in March, April of last year with the pandemic. We put our heads down like everybody else. We didn't know what to do with the lockdown and the social distancing. But we had this discussion where we realized that the opportunity of this crisis was as big as the crisis. And this was a huge global crisis. So what we decided to do was a very simple thing. we decided to create free Zoom sessions every day, 7 days a week, so that people from all over the world could come together and share their concerns, share their fears, whatever it was that they were going through at the hands of the pandemic, because of the extraordinary thing of the pandemic has been that it's put the entire world for the first time ever in the same conversation, in the same experience. So we did that, and the next thing we knew, we had a tsunami on our hands, as people literally all over in upwards of 130 countries within a matter of weeks, and hundreds of organizations joining as co-sponsors. And we realized that this very simple impulse to start tracking the opportunity vector inherent in the crisis was the solution that we were looking for. And that was actually quite revelatory to me personally, to us institutionally, and to all of our partners who began to come together. And week after week, and then month after month, our original offer or commitment was to do it for as long as the pandemic. And in the spring of 2020, most of us, I'm sure you included, thought it was basically going to be over by summer, maybe the fall. And that didn't happen. And here we are 18 months later, and the pandemic is still with us. So Humanity Rising is still broadcasting, nearly 400 sessions now, bringing in people from all over the world. And one of the things that we've done is track unfolding world events. You may remember last May, the killing of George Floyd. That was an extraordinary event. And the entire country and the entire world somehow focused on the death of George Floyd. I can't breathe. I can't breathe. And in a highly ironic and almost mysterious way, as we were all going through a pandemic and a health crisis, it was the issue of racism that caught the global attention and ignited, I think, more manifestations around the world than ever in history at the same time about the same thing. And so as we were tracking various events, all of a sudden we came into 2021. And in the middle of 2021, it began to dawn on climate scientists that we were headed into some very deep waters with the climate. And you'll remember the findings of the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change said that we are now in unprecedented territory. The UN Secretary General said that we were now in code red. We are now in the climate tipping point. And what we could have avoided all these decades is no longer avoidable, that we are now in inexorable, increasing, accelerating ecological turbulence. And we're seeing it all over the world. Just this week in British Columbia, they had 2 once-in-a-century storms in a 2-week period. And wherever you look around the world, it's either unprecedented or record-breaking, some kind of event that is unprecedented. So the world is literally in an unprecedented situation. And the reason why I'm raising this, given the fact that this session is about finding our purpose, is that we all just a week ago finished COP26 in Glasgow, which will be remembered as that moment when the governments of the world decided to kick the can down the road one more time and thereby forfeit humanity from keeping the rise of global temperatures under 1.5 degrees. Just yesterday, they released here in Europe that the entire European region, where I am now, actually in Amsterdam, has now reached 2.2 degrees. The Arctic and the Antarctic have reached 3 degrees above pre-industrial levels. And so we're in an extraordinary period. And I think, as one of the panelists on Humanity Rising said, a certain kind of hope died with COP26 in Glasgow. And that was the hope that our governments were actually going to do something about this in a meaningful way. But she said, a new kind of hope is being born. And that's the hope that's going to be galvanized by the people of the world coming together, knowing that they are the solution. They are the change, as Gandhi said, that we've all been waiting for. And if you think about this, this is actually a very profound moment in our common humanity. We've been through a pandemic for 18 months. Our governments have been a mess. The pandemic is still with us. The governments aren't solving climate change. The ecology is spinning out of control. We, the people, are the only option left. And so as tonight we think about purpose, I would hope that all of us come into a deeper alignment around the magnitude of that question at this very fragile moment in the human journey. We've come to a point where every choice we make, what we eat, what we don't eat, what we buy, what we don't buy, how we act, what we do, the kind of entertainment that we watch, every choice now matters. We're in a moment where it's no longer possible for individuals to make the kind of difference that they used to be able to make. I think it's the Dalai Lama that said the Buddha will now be a sangha, a community. So as we move forward, not only is every choice important, but as I view it, and I think many view it, it's only in community that we're going to be able to navigate and track the solution and opportunity vectors that are before us. We've come to a time where nothing less than radical collaboration is going to be sufficient for the redemption that we seek. And finally, I would say, we've come to the point where heart coherence is the most important practice I think any of us can engage in. As Ilya Prigogine, the Nobel Prize winner in chemistry back in 1996, said about chaos theory, he was one of the pioneers in chaos theory, is that there's a relationship between the chaos in the system and the coherence in the system. And if the coherence has a dialectical relationship, a synergistic relationship with the chaos, and can transmute the chaos, it can create a level of coherence that will enable the chaos to jump to a higher level of coherence. So how we individually and collectively attune ourselves to our hearts, and our heart rhythms, knowing that as we create coherence in our heart, we start to become in sync with the electromagnetic pulse and rhythms of the planet, of the earth, so that our interior coherence informs our exterior actions. That, I believe, is the practice before us. So I'll leave it at that. I just want to thank you, Teresa, for moderating both the Pulse earlier today and now Saturday Night Alive. It's a fantastic program. I bless all of us as we go through this very critical moment in human history. We're quite literally, we're being weighed in the balances. And it's going to come down to our capacity to transmute all the chaos around us into coherence that's going to secure our future. And we can only do it holding hands with a common purpose and a coherent collective heart. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Jim, for that powerful message. If you were not on the Pulse this morning, I really want to encourage you to watch it. It was a very powerful session. Somebody says, you know, we need to stop talking and get on with doing it. And we did it this morning. And one of the things that Jim evoked in our meditation, as he said, can we open our heart wide enough to take in this chaos, to transmute this chaos? You know, is our love deep enough? And I could really feel like together it is. Together, our heart is big enough, and together our love is deep enough to begin to create a transition what did Gary say? We need to start living the vibration of the future that we're choosing. And our next guest, well, I just want to say Humanity Rising, we were going to put a slide up. Jim's done 400 of them every single day. And it is an archive of the story that's been unfolding. And I really want to encourage people to sign up for it, go look at the archives. It's such important information, and they just keep going. So thank you, Jim, for all of your love. And I want to go next to Marshall Lefferts, and he asked if we could maybe have a little dialogue. And Marshall and I are longtime colleagues and friends and beloveds, and we've been on this journey the whole time. And I think, Marshall, our relationship really has been in a commitment to living in the current of our purpose, and to putting that purpose first, and whatever it was. And one of the reasons why I wanted to bring you on too is that besides getting current with what's happening in the world, so that we're actually letting what's happening in the world also draw something of our purpose, in service, is that we need this unified worldview. We need to get that we're connected to all things, and that we truly have an impact because we're not separate from the whole of life. So I always love your, between unified science studies that you've done in cosmometry and just your embodied inquiry of living in the current of your purpose, your dedication to living in the current of your purpose. I really wanted you to bring your voice in, and I love you so much. And I'm really, really happy that you're here and that we keep doing this, keep showing up.
Yes, that we do. Thank you, Teresa, as always. And I was just reflecting as you were saying that, of that moment when I came to your studio way back when, and I tapped you on the shoulder and said, I need you to help me with what we're doing. And that's when we started working with Barbara Marx Hubbard together. And so I feel like I kind of was instrumental in activating your stepping into this greater purpose that you've been living into all these years. I've been really privileged to not only witness that, but also to benefit so much from it and to co-create with it. So, yeah. And I really, I felt like I wanted to have a little time to share this inquiry together, because this is, like you said, this is what drives your life, this living in the current of our purpose and what that is. And I wanted to just tease out a little bit more of your thinking around that as we explore this tonight together. And to lead into that, I was thinking about that statement, living in the current of our purpose. And that has a few elements that you even touched into, about it's an alive activity that's in our lives. And there are a couple of quotes that came to my mind that I wanted to provide a little context for where I wanted to start in this together in this discussion. And they're from Arthur Young. And Arthur Young was a real pioneer in, well, he invented the Bell helicopter, what became the Bell helicopter. He invented the helicopter by studying how does nature really create these dynamic systems and really create coherent systems based on the flow processes that he was understanding and put into application as an engineer. But he also deeply studied how the universe operates as a purpose or as a process. And this first quote from him is just one very simple line that really sets the context, I think, at a little macro scale of this consideration. And he says, the universe is a process put in motion by purpose. The universe is a process put in motion by purpose. And so right there, he is putting purpose as the source of all that then comes into motion to create the entire universe. And so even the thought of living in the current of our purpose is very deeply inherent in his understanding of how the universe itself is actually operating. And I want to read one other quote from Arthur Young that provides a little more a sense of what that means and how that might work, and then dovetail it into our sort of discussion about how we bring that into our lives and how that may actually be supported by this universal process put in motion by purpose. And in this quote, he's talking about, it's actually in reference to a flashlight. And a flashlight is a device that obviously makes light shine. And what he says is that only when the device is put together can it express its function and purpose, something its parts alone could never do. Since purpose is in the whole and not in the parts, the whole must be greater than the parts. How can we account for this? Because the whole cannot function when divided. It follows that function is that aspect or cause which is not in the parts and which science cannot deal with because science deals with mass, length, and time, which are parts. This leads to a basic cosmological postulate. The parts are derived from the whole and not the whole from the parts. In other words, the whole exists before the parts. So we could actually say then that the purpose exists before the parts that are used to fulfill it are located and combined. And this was a very interesting idea that was, as we're thinking about living in the current of our purpose, the idea that when we want to do that, when we want to live into the current of our purpose, really the beginning is what is our purpose, obviously, and significantly in the sense that by identifying and dropping into that knowing inside of ourselves, that's when we then start to gather what are the parts that would come together to allow us to fulfill that. And always keeping in mind that the whole as the purpose, which is this larger, greater than the parts, is what's driving it from within ourselves. And I wanted to just set that context and touch into that idea with you a little bit. And, what is your experience of that? Because it's really, how do we sync up with this universal process that is put in motion by purpose? And what does that mean to then live into it in such a way that the universe is supporting us? And I know you've had experience with that, and I wanted to see what you might say about that.
You know, what it reminds me of is that as I've been exploring coherence, really presence, right? The quality of my presence, really putting that first and coming into resonance with life, because when I actually drop in and I'm actually right here, I start to feel earth more. I start to feel everything around me more, right? So I get dropped in. But it's been this practice of heart-centered breathing, of where I'm literally breathing in and out of the center of my being, that has me connected to the purpose that you're talking about. It's like purpose is the foundation of life. And when I actually relax and realize that I have this access point to this infinite field of purpose that's always emerging, and that I have a unique oscillation, a unique note, a unique expression of that purpose, that when I drop into it, it actually like begins to guide, it begins to move me in a direction, it begins to attract into me everything that I need, it begins to radiate out from me that note. And that changed everything, right? So it's that connection to this greater unfolding that life is, that's doing and being, and my unique part in it. And that's what I mean by living in the current of your purpose. I want to be following that note. I want to be vibrating that unique frequency on behalf of this purpose that's unknowable and infinite, and so much me connected to everything else. So that's what came up when you were saying those quotes.
Yeah, beautifully said. And really that is the heart of it, I think, from what he's even saying there, that, finding that in ourselves and that connection and the coherence is what really allows us to feel that connection in ourselves, and then feel that impulse of purpose that is ours uniquely, as well as an impulse that is really in the current itself, in the current of life. When we're in the current of our purpose, we're really riding the wave of the creative flow. That is always happening. And when we find that in ourselves, we really extend into the presence of that current that lifts us more and more. I think maybe my video may have frozen because you're all frozen, but hopefully you're still hearing me.
I still hear your voice.
Good. Okay, great.
Yeah.
I thought that might happen. So, and I wanted to touch into, I'm sure this will come back on in a second, but we'll continue. Thinking about the purpose of the times we're in here. This is, as Jim was just saying, it's just such a potent time, and we all know that, and we've been through so much. And it feels like there's a purpose that is, obviously, it's part of this universal stream that is continuously motivated by purpose. And so there is a deep, profound, universal, galactic, solar, Gaian, human, down to the individual, synergetic motivation of purpose that's going on in this time we're in. That's very profound. And I was thinking about the how we are faced with such a magnitude of dilemma, and the challenge and need to address what's going on in our lives from a place that is aligned with and motivated by a greater purpose than the one that may be trying to present itself through different media, through different viewpoints, through the challenges of actually sorting all that out. And for me, I wanted to just touch into the idea that we all feel, I believe, that the world that got us to the beginning of this phase we're in is not really the world we want to go back to, because there was a lot about that was dysfunctional. I think even there's a lot of a challenge of the dysfunction even coming more and more to the surface at this time. And that we also know that there is a really profound paradigm shift occurring that is informed by a deeper understanding of the nature of the cosmos through a unified science perspective, as well as then the implications of what that means for applications in the world to really be able to solve some of the really critical problems that we're facing. And that for me is an impulse from a larger perspective of purpose that is actually, I think, a critical aspect of what is this purpose of this time we're in, and how can we bring that more wholly into not only the discussion about what this time is for and where we're headed, but also the actualization of that. And I know that's dear to your heart, and I'm sure to most everyone here, that we are really knowing it's time to bring in an entirely new version that even supersedes and transcends some of the existing systems that have been established for so long, underlying our experience here in the world. So I just wanted to touch into that and see what your perspective is on that as well.
Yeah, I mean, and we don't have much time, so we have to just kind of wrap up with
Okay.
this, and then we can
Yeah.
come back on the after show. But I know that whatever it is that's ahead of me when I follow the current of my purpose isn't necessarily something that I know right now. I mean, it's going to use the skills that I've created, but what's required of me as I come more and more into attuning to my unique note in this symphony of life's music, that I'm being surprised, and I'm having to really let go of what I think it's supposed to look like, and just respond in every moment with my heart all the way open the best I can as it's emerging. And that's when I'm really in the current of my purpose. So Marshall, more to come with you. And if
Okay,
you didn't,
great.
if
Thank
you
you.
weren't there for the early show, I really want to recommend, I'll be putting a link in the chat to that recording, and we can share a little bit more in the after show.
Beautiful. Thank you so much.
And you'll see Marshall has a website, cosmometry.com, and has written an incredible book. And as a musician and a unified science explorer and a cosmometrist, it's a powerful book and a really good entry point, Marshall. And as I was saying, to me, living in the current of our purpose requires a new worldview, a unified science worldview. Otherwise, we can't even access the potential that we have.
There you go. That was my point on the left.
Yeah. Thank
there.
you.
So thank you.
Love you,
Yeah,
Marshall.
great.
Thank you
Thank
so
you, guys.
much.
Mm-hmm.
Great. And next we're going to Theo Grace, who, if you were listening at the end of the after show, you heard that wonderful song that just birthed from him on the 11/11 show that we did that was honoring the hardest. And maybe we can be Theo. That was so fun. Don't you love hearing that first blush of it? It was so special. And I know we're going to hear it again tonight at some point. But you are also someone that I've known for many, many years, and we've all been really discovering what it means to actually live our purpose together. And I really love that you've been in my life with that. And I really love what you share with me that helps me get there. And I know I've done the same for you. So thank you, Theo, for coming.
Yeah, thank you, T. Yeah, it's safe to say you've been one of the key players in my life, and mentors and guides in helping me find my way back to the current of my purpose. And it reminds me of something thank you. Thank you. I love you so much. You're just an incredible human being. I'm so honored and grateful to know you and to just benefit from your love and your wisdom and your beauty. And thanks for calling me in. I just love this more and more. I shared on Facebook how I used to really not look forward to performances. It used to really be just like, you don't want to, like, so much resistance, so much a lack of self understanding and self love. And thanks to, you know, the mystery and magic of the hero's journey and being constantly guided back to doing the work, I actually feel excited, you know, to be here, to get to serve, to get to be in the current of my purpose and give something that I hope is of benefit and value to people. So how do we get into the current of our purpose? That's what we all want to know. You know, there's so many courses out there, like, how do we do it? What's the technique? And when I think of purpose and being in purpose and on purpose, I think of the flow state. And if you've listened to this guy, he's got the coolest name ever, Mihai Csikszentmihalyi. He studied the flow state, like, deeply. And so many people, scientists have been studying, like, what is this state? It's like dopamine and oxytocin and, like, fully engaged in the present moment. That's really what it is. And it reminds me of just, like, being in the flow of the Tao, the Wu Wei, you know, where you're just like, you're here, you're in the present moment, and you're not in the future, you're not in the past, you're just here. And everyone is, and everything is, and then we're in the Wu Wei, we're in the Tao. And so this song is, like so many of my songs, are reminders to myself. It's like I put the spiritual wisdom that I'm integrating into my own mind, being, body, life, and I put it in a song so that I can sing it like a mantra and remind myself of what it is I need to do in the state that I'm, the purpose, the current of purpose.
Hey, Theo, your sound's a little soft.
Oh, yeah?
And people are wondering if you have something on fire and if you're okay.
Oh, I'm just burning a little incense here.
Great.
Thanks for the care, people. I
Yeah.
appreciate it. Let me turn up the volume here. How's that?
Better. That's better. Thank you
All
so
right.
much.
Beautiful. Thanks for the feedback. I appreciate it. Let's turn on a little reverb. There we go. All right, so this song is called Watching It Go. And it's just about dropping into the present moment and being here now. So you can breathe into your heart. You can close your eyes. You can do whatever it is. You can dance, whatever that the thing is that brings you here now. I am not the clouds, I am the sky. I am not the mind, I am the I. Here in a sacred song of a universe alive. Can't hold on to anything passing away. I am here experiencing, living today. High highs, low lows, and me in the middle, watching it go. Here comes a fear, oh no, watch it go. Feelings and thoughts, oh watch them go. See it all and watch it go. Well, I am not the memories, I am the one circling for centuries around the sun, burning up everything, all that needs to be released, expanding beyond the edges of my mind. Stories, seasons, reasons, and rhymes open me up to find it's always been me in the middle, watching it go. Well, here comes a fear, oh no, watch it go. Feelings and thoughts, oh watch them go. See it all and watch it go. And the secret is to see it, to feel it, receive it. Oh, the secret is to see it, to feel it, receive it. Oh, the secret is to see it, oh, to feel it, receive it. Oh, the secret is to see it, to feel it, and release it. 'Cause underneath this fear of mine is the sweetness of life. Oh, underneath this pain inside is the sweetness of life. Oh, the sweetness of life. The sweetness of life. The sweetness of life. The sweetest life. Breathing into that heart, that sweet, that honey of the heart, that sweet life, that music of life that we are.
That's another thing we need, Theo, is we need to actually, tune into the sweetness, even though there's a lot of things going out in the world, when we really look in this present moment, and it's so glorious that we're here. So to be in the current of our purpose, we have to actually be able to kind of touch into that place inside of us that just really feels so grateful for this life.
Yeah, and it's within, there's that beautiful quote, everything we want is on the other side of our fear. So we really have to be with our suffering. We have to be with that fear. We have to be with that pain, and it's hard.
Yeah.
So a lot of compassion for everything we're doing to get that gold and share it.
Yeah. Jim was saying today on our meditation, is our heart big enough to really just take it all in, just bring it all inside of us so that we can transmute it, so that we can respond to it in a loving way. So thank you, Theo. We're going to hear more from Theo again, and Theo Music. You can see his website, and there's links there, and there's all kinds of great music, but we'll hear from him a few more times. And I want to bring on next True Osborne. And I'm so excited that True is here with us tonight. He's someone that just calls my heart on fire every time I'm with him. And I wanted to bring True on because I think another thing about living in the current of our purpose is actually to find that passion inside of us to really go for it, to really call us each other forth. And True, you do that every time I see you. You call me forth, I call you forth, and we're just yes, let's call the leaders. Let's call the new leaders here. So I'm happy to hear what you have to say, True, and thank you for bringing your love in. True Osborne.
Hello, everyone, and good evening. Hopefully, you can hear me really well. And Mama T, whoa, what an honor to be with you and everyone else here on this pulse this evening. I am humbled and I am honored to be able to share this time with you. And I want to just really echo all of the wisdom that has come forth on this call so far. I've been invited to continue this beautiful conversation about us really getting connected to how humanity is rising, as well as living in the current of our purpose. And like I said, this is an echo to all of the wisdom that has come here, but there are some real key points that come to mind, and it is purpose defined initially. And it says that purpose is the reason for which something is done or created, or for which something exists. So like we've been hearing throughout the evening, is that our purpose is first and foremost bringing us present to who we choose to be. It's bringing us present to our identity, and not just the identity that we had from the beginning, right? As we remember the beginning, but the identity that we choose, the identity that calls us forth. And I love that you bring that up, Mama T, is that we're people who can call each other forth, right? Because I ultimately believe that that is our responsibility as co-creators in humanity, is to call one another forth, to be able to see the greatness inside of one another as reflections, and then take the time to reach deep inside of that person that you're seeing and pull forth that greatness so that it lives fully realized, so that it lives witnessed by the world around us. And I'm also very clear that as we're looking at who we were created to be, right, and how that leads us into action, the things that we were created to do, it reminds me that there are some things that may get in the way of you flowing with the current of purpose, right? And I want to be able to share some insights on how you can get unstuck in your journey of living in the current of purpose, because that's really what we're here to do, right? As collaborators, we're here to pull each other into the greatness of our being. So we have to acknowledge that sometimes we're going to get stuck. What are some of the characteristics that we can focus on that keep us unstuck when flowing in purpose and living life within the current of purpose? Well, we can focus on authenticity, on being the best versions of ourselves, on sharing our true feelings. And I love that, Mama T, whenever we're together, we find a way to get us to the core of what we're saying, right? And it's an invitation that we now have with the rest of the world. Are you holding your community accountable to seeing you in your highest purpose? Or are you just saying the things that are going to make those around you feel a little more comfortable with who they think you should be, or who you think they think you should be, right? We're always living with these masks that, frankly, I believe the pandemic really gave us time to examine these masks and then remove them slowly yet surely. If I am to live in true purpose, then I got to get clear about who I am, where I am. What am I doing? I set a goal at the top of 2021. Have I reached that goal in Q4? Have I activated anything in myself that's going to draw me closer to community? Because ultimately, our purpose is driving us not into seeing ourselves like stuck in the shadow, right? Even though I'm speaking about the things that prevent us from living in purpose, I don't want to be confused that we're not talking about staying stuck in your shadow place. We're talking about acknowledging the mud so that you can get washed off in purpose. You can't move forward unless you realize what has got me living out of the current. I gotta know. Why do I gotta know? Because my destiny depends on it, and the destiny of those who trust me to influence their lives depends on it. And that's each and every one of us. Right now, I feel very strongly that I'm speaking to someone who's feeling like, look, I know that I'm special on some level. I may not know exactly where my specialties exist, but I'm special on some level. But what I can't get past is the part of me that can't see beyond the situation I'm living in right now. Maybe you were impacted by the fires and you're restarting your life and looking at purpose from a fresh way. Maybe you're dealing with family concerns where there's been loss and grief, and you're trying to figure out, how am I going to continue beyond the overwhelming sense of pain that I'm feeling right now? Maybe you've already jump-started your purpose and you're trying on something new for size. And what you're experiencing is the overwhelming weight that comes along with trailblazing, right? Maybe you're one of those people, and then the list continues beyond that, right? But maybe you find yourself on the precipice of something new and you're feeling a little stuck. Well, I've come to tell you today that living in the current of your purpose is not thinking of yourself any less. Or rather, it's not about thinking less of yourself, is really what I'm trying to say. It's maybe about thinking of yourself as an individual less and tapping into the true power of community and the communal wealth of purpose, right? How is my life going to live in service to the life around me? Essential question. What am I thinking? What am I doing? What am I creating? What am I saying? What am I professing? What am I living that is going to jumpstart me into my next level? So we're looking at authenticity as one, and I'm going to move through the rest of these a little quickly for the sake of time. So many amazing speakers here tonight. The other one is mercy. And I don't think that's a conversation we have often enough. If we're going to speak about authenticity, let's also speak about mercy. How can we learn to forgive ourselves enough to make room for forgiveness in the way that we experience others? Purpose is always going to feel halted when unforgiveness is present because they work opposite one another. They're like opposing forces. Right? So you need authenticity so that you can identify, who do I choose to be? And then you need mercy to say, as I grow, or like how I like to think about it, as I fail forward. And if you are trailblazing, you better learn how to fail forward. As I fail forward, right? How am I seeing myself? How am I forgiving myself and those around me for the parts of this story that don't look the way that I want it to look? Or even more so, the parts of this flow, the parts of this stream that are moving against what my expectation is. And we all have them. And it just helps for us to just be honest and say that we have expectations about our journey. We'd like for things to go a certain way. But purpose does not lie only in your expectation of the story, right? Purpose is something bigger. It's more divine than just what you want out of the situation. It's really how you can partner with the situations around you so that you can create something beautiful, something powerful, something transformative. And that begins with authenticity and mercy, right? I'm gonna couple honesty with authenticity. But when I speak of honesty, I mean speaking the truth in love. Not just being honest for the sake of telling people how you feel, but being honest from a position that says, when I speak truthfully in love about my purpose, I am going to draw others to speak truthfully in love about my purpose. That's the invitation. Is that honesty draws you closer to your why. It draws you closer to the impact that you are called to have. Next, we have humility, which is about admitting the parts of ourselves that are not lining up with the purpose that we hear calling. Is it time management? Is it saying yes to too many things? Is it not knowing what your body needs? Is it living out of sovereignty with your call? Is it expecting more from yourself than where you may be in the present season? To everything, there's a time and a season. And I believe that true humility, true honesty, true mercy, true authenticity, they bring us back into deeper questioning. Less about having all of the answers and then defining those answers as the place of purpose, but more about asking, healthier questions and defining that place as purpose. Am I living connected to the question more than the answer? What is that going to do? The question is going to lead you into inquiry, and inquiry is the birthplace of discovery. So we get to lean into the honest parts of ourselves so that we know that. And then that brings in courtesy, respecting our differences. You're not going to always agree with the purpose of others around you, but it doesn't mean that your purpose isn't called to move those purposes forward and to shift them. I love this analogy of thinking of it as planters, right? Some of us are called to plant seeds. Some of us are called to water them. Some of us are called to reap harvests. And I think that in some way, all of us go through that process with purpose at all times. Am I planting a seed of purpose? Is this an idea? Is this a prototype that I'm looking at now, right? And then am I watering that seed? Am I finding data? Am I looking at the relevant stakeholders and resources that I can use to move this purpose forward into the next dimension of my life and of my destiny? And then also, am I testing these theories to see that they work empathetically with the communities that I'm feeling called to? Am I utilizing what's already in my hand to create deeper impact and deeper fulfillment within the purposes that I'm being called and connected to? I love that. Hopefully you all are catching this with me. This is super powerful. Next, we have confidentiality, which is about really being able to protect your purpose, knowing who to share it with, when to share it with them. Or is it something that I should actually just be in deeper meditation about? Purpose is always growing. So if we're not staying connected to source, then we can be easily shifted away from the trajectory that we're actually being called to, for fear that we need to do more or say more or share more. It is perfectly okay for you to meditate on your purpose until you feel release to share it with those around you. And what I found in my own life is that when I am patient with the communication of my purpose, that I end up finding myself wrapped up in the purpose itself, right? Because instead of me speaking about it, I'm finding ways to live it. I'm finding ways to do it. I'm looking for people to partner that purpose with. So it gives us space to really get into deeper relationship with purpose itself. Confidentiality, holding near and dear the truth of your purpose, being very precious about it. See, and perspective. And the last one is collaboration. So we have perspective and collaboration. Are we able to see each other clearly without judgment? And are we able to see our purpose clearly without judgment? Are we able to live in alignment with the purpose and not just our idea of how we should show up within it? Maybe purpose is calling you into deeper service. Maybe purpose is calling you into rest. That's not something we look at enough. Maybe purpose is calling you into relaxation so that you can develop the wisdom deeper, so that you can see yourself clearly and so that you can see the call clearly. And then that time, maybe purpose is calling you into collaboration, into finding other divine purposes to partner with so that you can accomplish what you've been called to do. I found this so many times as a young parent. I have two beautiful children, Titan and Thunder, and I'm actually here joined with my wife, who watches me attempt to live out purpose at its highest call every single day. And the one thing that I'm reminded of is that we're not all, and please implant your superhero in this statement, we're not always going to be Superman or Wonder Woman. There are times where your purpose is going to become more fully realized as Clark Kent or Lois Lane or Diane, Princess Diana. You get to identify which of those seasons you're being called into. And you also get to identify that without these 9 characteristics, it will become very easy for you to get sticky, muddy, stuck in a rut. confused about your why, confused about your when, confused about the who. Just remember that you were divinely created to live out the purpose that you are living, and you're not going to get there alone. But take your time, be kind to yourself, forgive yourself for the areas where you may not be meeting the mark right now. It's okay. This is what purpose is all about. It's about discovery. Less about the answers, more about the questions. Teresa, thank you so much for allowing me to share those 9 characteristics of staying in flow and in the current of the space. When I think about a current, I live near the Hudson. So one of the strongest currents near me is the Hudson River, and it is an estuary. It is a current that flows in 2 directions at the same time, always. And as a New Yorker, I think I know that more than most, is we're always moving, trying to get the next thing accomplished. So my encouragement to everyone tonight is, listen, as you are living out your purpose, don't forget that you yourself are the purpose you are living out. If you are burnt out, if you don't have enough of yourself, then there's really little that you'll be able to share with the community around you. So I encourage you to see yourself as your best self as often as possible. Thank you so much, Teresa.
Love you, True. I love that you got so practical, and also, you know, it's not like living in the current of your purpose is that everything is going right. Like living in the current of your purpose is that you're present to what's unfolding in your life and in your community. And sometimes it's shattering, and how you show up in that is your purpose. And I always love that you bring that in. I know, True, that in your community, that's your purpose, is you're showing up in your community. How can I bring the best of me into whatever situation is happening, and not dwell in whether you're doing a great job or not, but show up fully? And I feel like you really called us to that today.
Yeah, and it looks different for each and every one of us, you know, and I think that the true invitation is to just do the very first thing that you feel called to. It may be purchasing someone groceries in the line that's in the line behind you. That is a form of your purpose being realized. The purpose of a giver, right, is to give. So it doesn't matter how you do that, give. The purpose of a planter is to plant seeds of encouragement and hope in the world around us. The purpose of an artist is to inspire by telling the stories of those who can't tell the stories themselves. That is, we each get to find out what that purpose is by saying yes to self first and to source first. Before looking for the ways to pour it out into others, I think that we get to be the first partakers of our life. So I love that quote by Rick Warren from his book, A Purpose-Driven Life, that says, living a life full of purpose is not about thinking less of yourself. It's just about thinking of yourself a little bit less.
Yeah, beautiful. I love you, True. Thank you so much for taking time. Love to your family. You can get True Osborne. There's some links in the chat for him. We're going to have you back again. We have more play to do, my friend. Thank you,
I can't wait.
Yeah, me too.
Thank you.
Bless you.
Bye-bye.
Bye. I'm going to keep moving. We have Ben Bowler next, and I really want to bring Ben on the camera, and then we're going to do our half show and hear a little bit more about Saturday Night Alive. Ben, I'm so happy to have you. What a great lineup we've had tonight, right? Oh, so
absolutely good. Amazing, Teresa. Mrs. T, maybe that one will stick.
Yeah. And Ben, you know, you are somebody that I see living in the current of your purpose. And I have to say that recently I've been really excited to see pictures of you and your family really enjoying each other. I've been seeing a lot of that. It just makes my heart so happy because Ben, you do so much. You're like Jim, where you know what's going on the planet. Like you're really aware of the challenges that we're facing. And I know that you show up every day to do your part. And the fact that you're taking time to be with your family and your kids on the other side of all of that is such an important part of living in the current of our purpose. We have to refuel. And as True was saying, it has to start right here. So I love you, Ben Bowler, the founder of Unity Earth and World Unity Week and all kinds of things. And I just want to hear what you have to share with everyone about living in the current of your purpose.
Well, thank you, Teresa. And you're right. It's been absolutely extraordinary. The lineup tonight has been amazing. And everyone's had so many incredible contributions. What really strikes me when we're looking at, and Jim was such an eloquent explanation of some of the challenges we're facing, and then you see, True with the passion there and breaking it down. Super amazing show so far, and it's great to be here back on Saturday Night Alive with Scott and Deborah and everybody, and on this special occasion with the Global Coherence Pulse coming together. Just deep love and gratitude to everybody for everything you're doing. And 86 show. Back to back, that's a huge commitment. So it's an honor to be back with you. A couple of comments from me on purpose. I always love the Howard Thurman quote. Howard Thurman, the spiritual activist and civil rights leader from the 60s, who said, "Don't ask what the world needs. Ask what makes you come alive, because what the world needs is what makes you come alive." And it's really that simple essence, as True just said, of going straight to source first, straight to God, straight to your highest power that you can connect with, and starting there with the yes and the surrender. And I was reflecting, getting ready for today, that the old paradigm was the Maslow's hierarchy of needs. We need to have our physiological needs met and our emotional needs met before we can start to think about purpose and self-actualization at the top of the pyramid. And so what we're hearing tonight, and what is in this work around purpose, is this idea of integrating all of those aspects. Having our physiological needs met and our emotional needs met, while at the same time self-actualizing. And I feel that is the breakthrough, and that is the new paradigm that what's been expressed here so beautifully. We're blessed at Unity Earth to be home to an incredible platform called Purpose Earth. And purposeearth.org, you can see, a year old, and have already given away close to $300,000 to small groups. It's a funding body that gives grants out to groups around the world. And Purpose Earth has been a recipient of the generosity of Saturday Night Alive over the last few months. But just the amount of groups that are out there. And I think the other thing that's coming through really strongly is the old paradigm was going for my purpose. What have I got to do? It was really about the individual. But as we heard from True and others, now we're looking to find, how do we swim in that school of fish most effectively? How do we fly together? How do we become that organism, that super organism we need to be? Then everybody's got a contribution, a unique and sacred contribution to make in whatever role that it may be. So I'm also thinking about, what's been shared too so authentically about what happens when we're not living in the current of our purpose. What happens when we're not there? We feel stuck, and we feel in a way that we're taking backward steps instead of going forward. And there's been some beautiful, advice and inspiration given here tonight. But I was thinking about Indigenous cultures and the other wisdom traditions, things like vision quests and the initiations, even the totems and other things that happen from the wisdom traditions. In the faith traditions too, there is that training and teaching about how do we really get in touch with God's will. And there are different expressions of that. St. Francis said, "Lord, make me an instrument of your peace." There's such a beautiful analogy, as Marshall has said so eloquently tonight, of the universe as a symphony. Make me an instrument of your peace. There is strength and tools and assets in our wisdom traditions for us to call on. And ultimately, it is faith and courage and patience and these values that we learn there that are what we need to absorb sometimes and stay with it. The other thing too is I've got a lot of friends. I'm nearly 50, and I've got a lot of friends who don't know their purpose. Friends and family members that really haven't found it yet, and just want to share that is more common than not. And so if people are thinking, well, I'm not sure yet, or I've tried a few different things, and the idea that has been expressed tonight, that living in the current of the purpose that's always evolving, is so beautiful. And, let's face it, some of the most influential, incredible change makers on earth were 60s and 70s and 80s and beyond when they did their greatest work. So I think it's been an incredibly soulful conversation, really uplifting, so many nuggets and incredible stuff there. But one of the challenges as we integrate that whole of our needs, from physiological to emotional to the self-actualization, is sometimes funding our work. And we have that at Purpose Earth, where we're doing incredible work in mentoring and funding groups all around the earth. And it's a challenge at times to get the funding to come back. And I know that Scott and Deborah have done extraordinary work with Saturday Night Alive. And, you know, you see the commitment, the professionalism, the love, the care, the service. It is remarkable. And it's really important that we as a community, as we rise to our collective purpose together, that we support each other when we see people living their purpose. We need to step forward into supporting others to live their purpose, because that is part of all of us creating a community and a culture in which purpose thrives. And going back to the quote, if purpose is thriving, if what the world needs is people who have come alive, if purpose is thriving, then our world is going forward. We have the creativity and the genius within the system that we inhabit to solve the problems that we have. We have it within us to solve all of the problems that we have, but we need to create a community where purpose thrives. So I just want to shout out to Deborah and Scott, and we need to get behind them and support them. 86 shows and counting, and may it go. You create so much value. So I really want to see all of us come in behind you and support you tonight and going forward. And Purpose Earth and all the other good works and Global Coherence Pulse and all the incredible works going on, Teresa. Thank you for having me. Aloha and mahalo from the Hawaiian Islands.
I'm so glad you're there and you get to enjoy the sunshine, Ben. And you have something coming up on the 21st. I want to make sure we let people know about that beautiful thing. Do you want to say something about that?
Yeah, sure. Thank you for that. The longest night is actually an intercultural grieving ceremony. It's a vigil of lament about everything that's been lost over the last 2 years. Gary Melkin, Artie Pat McCabe, some really amazing people that are coming, Kristen Hoffman, that are coming forward to help us in an intercultural way, in an interspiritual way, hold each other in space for all that's been lost, loss of health and life and freedom and income and industries and so much. So the opportunity to come together on the solstice and to be together for a few hours around the longest night. There's a Facebook group, you can find it. We're beginning with the Global Silent Minute at 3:40 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And you can find details for the longest night on Facebook.
Thank you so much, Ben. Thanks for joining us. And thanks for the shout out to Saturday Night Alive. I think it's really important. I think many of us are thinking about year-end gifts and things like Purpose Earth and Saturday Night Alive and Global Coherence Pulse and what Jim's doing with Humanity Rising. You know, this is where to put our love energy in. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Love you, Teresa. Bye-bye.
Love you too. So I want to bring on Scott and Deborah and to kind of share about this. And, you know, they have been over their 87 shows, is it 87? Raising money for all kinds of things. And I really admire that. You guys have really made a difference in so many people's lives. And tonight, really, this is about supporting what you guys have been doing in this beautiful community that you've been cultivating here. And so I really want to encourage people, you know, this is the time for us to give to the things that really make a difference in our lives. And I know I'm going to do that with Saturday Night Alive. So thank you, guys. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you very much. It's every Saturday night is a very powerful evening for Deborah and myself to commune with people like Teresa and Ben and all of the people that we get to be with every week. And Deborah and I are lucky. We are living our purpose. When the pandemic started, I was very busy doing my Love Coach Academy thing and coaching. And Deborah and I started this, and we thought it was just going to be for 1 week. Then we thought maybe it would be for a month. And of course, it's grown into what it's grown into. And on my end, to be honest, as most of you know, I actually do 3 shows every weekend. Straight Talk on Friday night. We're changing the name, by the way, to Awakening World. And my Sacred Sunday show. And Deborah works tirelessly. I want to say she's extraordinary how much she puts in. And to be really honest, both Deborah and I have put most of the rest of our lives on hold. I still coach clients that are in crisis, but I've stopped teaching. I've stopped doing trainings so I can put all my attention into these shows. And I know that Deborah's also put a lot of her world aside. And so, and we have not been able to receive much financial support recently. In fact, we've actually been putting money out of our pockets to keep things going. It's kind of awkward. It's so much easier for me to ask for money. Like, I'd much rather be asking money for Purpose Earth right now, right? Or for Global Coherence Pulse, or what I get to ask money for every week. But for the next few weeks, we are going to actually be focusing a lot on ourselves, because we need more support in order to continue to bring this show to you every week. So thank you for listening, and I'm going to turn over to my partner, Deborah.
Thank you, Scott. Thank you for your partnership and deep dedication to this amazing project. And I want to start with deep gratitude for what has been created. It's incredible times. And like Scott said, it's so amazing to be able to give this to you every week. And I'm in such deep gratitude for the speakers, amazing collaborators like Teresa, some of the sponsors that have come in, the musicians, and everyone that's working together in this high-level collaboration to keep the vibe high as we navigate down this birth canal to where we're going to co-create the new earth, which is what Saturday Night Alive is about. And what's really true is, in order to continue for 2022, we need the green juju. We need the green love. It doesn't just operate on just because we say it so, although that's powerful, but we really need your donations and support. We've got a lot of great ideas. We want to bring in new luminaries. We want to keep doing the special events where we get the luminaries there for 2 hours of very deep, intimate connection, like we did just last week with Gary Zukoff. And we've got great luminaries ready to come on, but we need a budget for 2022 to be able to really go forward. So please, we want to utilize the power of community, international community, which can allow us to have everyone donate, whether it's a small amount or a large amount. It makes a huge difference for Saturday Night Live for us to continue. So thank you so much for your support. It will really make a difference, because we'd love to continue in 2022. And one of our incredible speakers, who we've had a couple of times now, has given us a very special message about that. And that is Lynn Twist.
Well, this is Lynn Twist. I'm the co-founder of Pachamama Alliance. I'm also the president of the Soul of Money Institute, and I've raised hundreds of millions of dollars for the things I believe in. I worked for the Hunger Project for many years, and I know many of you also know about that. And one of the things that I love to do is ask people for money for the things I care about. And I'm asking you right now to make a donation to Saturday Night Alive, because things don't really run on air. They run on money. Money is important. And I know how much value and how much entertainment and how much nurturing and how much transformational education you and I receive from Saturday Night Alive. And we owe it to ourselves to complete that cycle so that we are a contribution back to Saturday Night Alive. You know, this is a world that will work really ultimately out of reciprocity, generosity, responsibility, and love. And that's, I know who all of you are, or you wouldn't be involved in Saturday Night Alive, because that's who it draws. It draws people like you, it draws people like me, it draws people who are awake, people who care, and people who know that giving back is really important. And there's many ways of giving back, like sharing with everybody about Saturday Night Alive. But right now and today and in this moment, the giving back we're asking for, I'm asking for, is a financial contribution, and one that makes you more alive, that makes you think, whoa, did I give that much? Did I give $500? Oh, did I give $5,000? Oh, did I give $750? Did I give $2,000? Wow, I can't believe I did that. But it was worth it, because what I get from it is so awesome, way more than what I contribute. So I invite you to make a contribution now. I invite you to go huge. I invite you to do something that makes you feel more alive, so that we can keep Saturday Night Alive going forever. Thank you so much, and just go for it.
That really touches my heart. So she's amazing. I've watched her ask for money for many, many years. I'm a big supporter of Pachamama Alliance, and to have her asking money for us feels really, really cool. So thank you, everybody. And I'm going to turn it back over to our one host for tonight's show, Teresa Collins.
And I
Yeah.
just want to mention, Scott, we're posting links in the chat room, and you can also donate on our website if you go to our website, and on our emails. We always have that. So all kinds of ways that you'll find out how to donate. So thank you.
I love Lynn Twist, asking for support, and that's the way it should be. It's like, what brings us alive? That's how we are in the current of our purpose. And when we support the things that are supporting us to be in the current of our purpose, if we give that energy, we create this beautiful torus, and we get so much more, like the ripples of the prayer spiral behind me, it ripples out. So I'm super excited. And we're going to bring in Honey of the Heart to play some music while we're donating. And I went ahead and did that already. I just gave what I could right now. And I hope that all of you will do too while we're having this beautiful music. So Honey of the Heart, why don't you come back on, share some music with us while we're sharing our love with Saturday Night Alive.
Awesome. Thanks for having us, and really great to be specifically on this show and to inspire and connect us to our purpose. It's something that every artist struggles with, and we do. And I just wanted to mention that. And we are going to be doing Catch the Wave, and we hope that you guys can all catch the wave of inspiration and connection and purpose through this music here.
Thinking at the pre-dawn feeling, what clock with on body, head along reality is on for rest we long. This voice is on home, shines from me. Is on for rest we long. Waves lifted, held in the tears of the sea, saturated,
All right.
permeated, sensation pours through me. Hearing, moaning, bird song, and the bass move on as we adjust to where we belong, between gentle and strong. Hearing, this heart, and just say, there'll be way, and ours on. Bring it on, bring it on. Oh, bring it on, bring it on. Waveless, lifted, howling the tears of the sea, saturated, permeated, sensation pours through me. Hit the surface, jump was worth it. Single through to my feet, like flying side to my burdens I oh, ride, the tide. All you want is flow, don't you? Live with all the passion you desire. To bloom and lush and thrive and find. Keep soul, going on. This life, take the choice and right. Find the bars in life without the fight. To the time to get it right. Oh, yeah. Don't think it's over. Something's just begun. Go now. Morning sun. Calling all my heroes. Calling all my enemies.
That was amazing. You two just are so rock our world. Everybody's just loving it. And I just love you guys so much. I was blessed to go to a house concert that they did. And I really want to just encourage everybody, please, we've got to support our musical friends. The pandemic has been hard on a lot of people, and especially on musicians, because so many of their opportunities to perform live have been cut out. Concerts, festivals, conferences, even bars and clubs and restaurants, mostly closed, just now beginning to reopen. And so please, if you are moved by the music, like I certainly am, go to honeyoftheheart.com and then go to merch. And that takes you to their online store where you can buy their albums through Bandcamp or in other ways. Please, let's support this wonderful couple and their wonderful daughter, who I had the pleasure to meet, the feral child, as I remember you calling her once. And just your beautiful family and your music really is so dynamic, and I just want us to always support you as best as we can.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Scott.
And thanks for including us in such a meaningful focus. I mean, purpose, I think, matters hugely to both of us, and it comes out in so many different ways. So grateful to have that as a priority and a focus for people.
Yeah, it's kind of perfect timing because you had picked this date a few months ago. So, and we didn't even know it was going to be Teresa's show. So it all worked out perfectly.
It was a great fit.
Thank you so much. So lovely to meet you guys and have you on. And I hope you enjoy your date night tonight and that you feel nourished. To keep following your purpose, because obviously you're right on it. And sometimes it feels hard and sometimes it feels easy, but you're really right in it. I can feel it.
Awesome. Thank you,
So
Teresa.
Yeah, beautiful. Thank you, guys.
Take care.
And I'm really glad, Scott, you did a shout out to the artists. We had that, you saw if you were on the early show, an event that we did on 11/11 Unified Experience, where we honored the artists, and we did the same. It's like these guys have really been pouring their heart out, just like Jim Garrison and myself with the Global Coherence Pulse, and Deborah and Scott, and we really do need to support them in any way that we can, so we can keep having that energy helping us follow the current of our purpose. And I'd like to now go to my beloved sister and friend and housemate and partner in so many different ways, Gwendolyn Grace, Wendy Grace. I'm so happy that you're with us tonight. And Gwendolyn has this capacity to channel the kind of the voice of the Divine Mother, like really coming through and really calling us to something. And I think your poem tonight is perfect for this. And I'm so happy that you're here. Thank you.
Well, thank you. It's really a delight to be here, to see you and Deborah and Scott and everybody. So it's humbling to hear the wisdom, the powerful wisdom in everybody. So I'm really grateful. I'm in Hawaii, so, and a little kitty cat is behind me.
I love it.
A little spirit, which is no accident. So I want to share this poem. My year last year, I can only call it was a fierce year, and so I'm really grateful now for the shedding that I did. And I'm understanding the fierceness of God in a whole new way, or maybe even God's messengers. So this is a poem just I heard one day, and I just wrote it down and I didn't mess with it. So I'm presenting it on behalf of wherever it came. And then I will follow with a blessing from the Mother. So this is called hunger. It's at the very bottom line. We're hungry. And we can even take that to, we're hungry for God. What is the food that ultimately we really call for, like baby hummingbirds reaching full on up to the sky? So here it goes. Know your hunger, find your hunger, feel your hunger for God. Know your hunger, find your hunger. Yes, this is your hunger for God. Magic sword of spirit slays, illusions from the shadows pray. You will learn to see so clear, looking through your heart's own fear. You will learn to be so clear and recognize this love so dear. A doubting heart opens wide. Hungry spirits can come inside, looking for a place to hide. And in your thinking, they will hide. Contracting sends you into pain. And looking for the holy heart, the heart that heals all mortal sin. Release the suffering soul again. Know your hunger. Find your hunger. Feel your hunger for God. Know your hunger. Find your hunger. This will lead you like nothing else. This is your hunger for God. Know yourself. Look within. Recognize your murky din. Prayers are sparkling in the night. Souls are turning to the light. Clean now. Clean now. Clean your heart. Hold the holy light and start the sacred currents giving light. Sacred fires can ignite to feed at last every heart with love, receiving grace from angels above who sit close by God's holy throne, always waiting for the suffering one, always waiting for the angels, the devils, the animals, the birds, the bees, everything. So make a feast divine. All are invited to partake of this holy vine. The mother's love is for all time, and she's waiting for the very last one. She's waiting for you. She's waiting for me. Know your hunger. Find your hunger. Awaken your hunger. Be jealous for your hunger. Yes, this is your hunger. This is your hunger for God. The mother's love is for all time. She's waiting for the very last one. Amen. Hold me, Mother, in your sweetness. Wash me, Mother, in your prayer. Nourish me within your loving. Hold me, Mother, in your pure desire. Holy Mother, I am so grateful you are unveiling me to tastes exquisite of your presence. This hurting world so wants to see. Holy Mother, it's you I serve. Awake in you, I bow with ease. Make my life a living altar to the offspring of your peace. Oh, blessed eagle, blessed condor, fly together in the sky, unveiling now a path of union, opening in your love. Wash me, Mother, with your loving. Hold me in my prayer. The earth will flourish understanding. Your love holds answers for our cares. Oh, Mother, I'm so grateful. You are unveiling me to tastes exquisite of your presence. With you. All together, all of us with you will always be. Oh, Mother, it's everything is worth it. Hope. Oh, thank you.
That's so beautiful.
Thank you for the cleansing of this time, for the honor of being alive all together here in this fierce moment. And I just ask for even more of the blessing of the cleansing and the purification that makes us witness to the light arising. Amen.
Mm. Mm.
Yeah. And the love.
Thank you, Wendy. Thanks for always pouring your love into all the things that matter. And you look beautiful and radiant, and your message is so potent. We want more and more and more of you. Please keep coming. Yeah, keep shining.
Sweet sister.
Yeah, I love you.
Yes.
Yeah, and thanks for all of your support of Saturday Night Alive over the last 18 months. Wendy's sponsored a number of shows, and she's known Scott and Deborah for a long time when it was the Harmony Festival. And so this is a part of your lineage here too, this community that's been growing and that you've supported. So thank you. Beautiful. Well, I'm gonna put us into the arms of another beautiful woman. Then this one I just met recently in a group on planetary resonance. I've been meeting with Marshall Lefferts and Jude Curran, Michael Linfield, Gary Malkin, and they brought in a new member, Chloe Goodchild. Chloe Goodchild. And she is the founder of The Naked Voice. And I feel like as I'm tuning into the current of my purpose, I realize it's a frequency, it's a tone, it's a song inside of me. And I think she speaks beautifully to that in our voice, in our letting our song sing into the world. So this is a recorded message from Chloe for us tonight, and she's going to be our featured partner on the Global Coherence Pulse in December. So you'll be able to spend more time with her. So here she is, a gift for all of us with Chloe Goodchild.
Beloved source, by your grace, I am alive. Beloved source, by your grace, I am alive. Beloved source, by your grace, I am and am I glad to be alive at this incredible moment in the evolution of humanity and of this planet. My name is Chloe Goodchild, and it's wonderful to be joining you here in the Global Peace Tribe for this exploration into the whole theme of living the current of your true purpose. So the current, wow, for me is this unchanging note. So whatever other notes are happening around it, it stays anchored, grounded. And it's this unchanging note that constantly restores my ongoing, continuous awareness of the current of life that has been really living me and living through me all these years, really since birth. And my life's work, my life's purpose has become really about exploring sound. Sound as the ground of consciousness. Sound as a vehicle for authentic expression, for true emotional expression, ethical expression, energetic expression, elemental expression. And it became very apparent to me in the very early years of my life how challenging it was for many people to really acknowledge the sound of their voice, and therefore the sound of their true purpose, if you like. For myself, it showed up very early because I was partially deaf as a child between the ages of 4 and 7. And during that time, I really had to learn about sound from the inside out. I was living in a partially silent world, and it was very difficult to actually pick up the social chatter of the world around me. And so that gave me, looking back, the most incredible opportunity to be with myself, to be at home without any distraction whatsoever. So my connection with nature, for example, at that time was very important, and the physicality of nature, of the wind, of the elements, of heat, of the sun, of the coolness of water. All these experiences of early life really awakened the senses, so that when I could actually hear again, it was very clear to me that sound as a musical phenomenon was really my one and singular fascination. And so that then, first of all, translated itself to social relationships, and then into a whole relationship with the choral field of sound as music. So right through my teenage years, I was singing in choirs forever. And it was that experience of the choral field, or what I now call the morphosonic field of consciousness, that I started to become aware of this field that enables every single human being, however deep the suffering, to come together in this oneness of connection. And I know that that oneness of connection is very deeply felt on a regular basis in the Global Peace Tribe. And so, introducing myself a little bit more in this present time, I'm the founder of The Naked Voice, and I coined the phrase The Naked Voice following a transformative experience in India. And it was really in India that I discovered this a way of communicating that was sourced from a language that is older and deeper than the polarity of conflict, or what we know as duality. So I was very blessed to be moving in my life between non-dual teachers and working with a classical Indian vocalist teacher And I started realizing that the dimensions between these two practices of sounding and listening without judgment, listening to the whole question of who am I? You know, where does this sound come from? So those two realms came together. And it was really my encounter with one of the great luminaries of India, Anandamayi Ma, the blissful mother. And it was really her connection with sound as an ecstatic, mystical reality, and as a way of really generating a consciousness among individuals from all walks of life, and activating this current of awareness that brought everyone into a state of oneness together. And it was through these devotional chants and ecstatic chants that she would sing for hours and hours and hours. And it was really my connection with Ramdas in the 1980s. And it was thanks to Ramdas that I started picking up this understanding of the power of the devotional voice and of devotional chanting. And so it was that then led me to an encounter with poets. And I was very blessed to work with Coleman Barks for a period of time, the great Rumi poet, and he would speak the Rumi and I would sound it. He would just say, can you just sing what you hear when I utter these words? And it was at that point that I started realizing that there is a collapsing of dimensions between the spoken and the sung voice. And again, that experience, that seamless connection with the authentic voice, really brought me home to this awareness of a naked voice that lives in every single human being. And many of us have forgotten it. We've been brought up to believe that we have this, personality voice, or that the voice is akin to performance, to singing, to entertaining other people, or that it's part of some institutionalized expression of dogmatic prayer or dogmatic religious understanding. And so to actually discover that your voice, your naked voice, exists prior to any of those other forms of languaging is a great relief. Because what does that do? It brings us into the voice of the soul. So, dear friends, it's my great joy to be joining you again in December, when we will have a much longer period of time together to explore this authentic voice of yours, the authentic voice that is arising at this time within and across all realms of humanity, and to realize that we have a calling. We have a calling, whether we know it or not yet, to really access and embody and express this authentic voice, the voice that transforms this duality that much communication is bound by, and helps us to access a depth of listening, a depth of wisdom that is older and deeper than the polarity of all conflict. To close, I would like to share with you a message from Anandamayi Ma. She says, suppose some people go to bathe in the sea and make up their minds to swim ahead of everyone else. Consequently, they will have to look back. But for the one whose one and only goal, whose one and only purpose is the ocean itself, no one has remained for whose sake he or she looks back or is concerned. And then what is to be will be. Give yourself up to the wave, and you will be absorbed by the current. Give yourself up to the wave, and you will be absorbed by the current. Having dived into the sea, you do not return anymore. The Eternal Himself is the wave that floods the shores, that you may be carried away. If your aim is the supreme, you will follow the leadings of your true nature. There are waves that carry away and waves that pull back. Those who can give themselves up will be taken by the One. In the guise of the wave, He holds out His hand and calls you. Come, come, come. Beyond ideas of right and wrongdoing, there is a field, a singing field. I'll meet you there. I'll meet you there. I'll meet you there. Beyond ideas of right and wrongdoing, there is a field, a singing field. I'll meet you there. I'll meet you there. I'll meet you there.
Thank you, Chloe. Thank you so much. Give yourself up to the wave of your purpose, and the current will carry you. It's really time for us to drop in. It was such a beautiful follow-on to Wendy and your beautiful poem. The two of you, I think, need to connect. Yeah. And Chloe, she has a beautiful website with lots of resources. There's voice dialogues, a regular podcast. There's a meditation room, free meditation room. There's a listening room. So many great resources on there. And we'll be seeing more of Chloe next Global Coherence Pulse on December 19th. So we're going to go now to Theo, who's going to do a second set for us. And then following that, we're going to have some announcements with Saturday Night Alive. And we'll just close with a very simple pulsing the planet meditation together. And then Theo will come on one last time to send us out into our evening or our day, depending on what side of the planet you're on, to take this energy out into the world. So Theo, I thought you might like to follow Chloe Goodchild. Wasn't that just beautiful?
Whoa.
What a transmission. You could
Yeah.
really feel it. Some of you commented it's angelic. Her presence is really, it's like that embodied vibration of the voice, which you have so beautifully, Theo.
Man, that just dropped me right in. That. I just want to like bath. I feel like I'm in that field, you
Yeah.
know? I feel like she brought me out into that field of just like, whoa, the expansiveness of what we're a part of. Like, wow.
Yeah.
And yeah, this is going to be an interesting follow-up because it's a pop song that really, it speaks to, you know, she really spoke to the surrender into the wave, the surrender into the ocean, and reminded me of how like Richard Rudd in the Gene Keys talks about, you know, the involution of spirit, of grace, of divine love, and then there's the evolution of the human spirit, the hero's journey, that reaching up. And this song is so much about, it's like it's probably one of the most pure expressions of that spirit in me that's reaching for the spirit in all. My small self reaching for the great I and wants to surrender, but also is just like on this journey of reaching and believing in something more. Like, so it's that spirit of perseverance and it's really got that feel to it. So it's kind of the other side of the paradoxical coin of
Hey, Theo, let's turn your volume up just a little bit again.
okay, cool.
Perfect.
I don't know what's happening with that. Let me turn that main up.
There you go.
Huh.
Perfect.
Okay.
Nice.
Well, it's going to be a loud song, but
All right. Well, you can
we'll
turn
see.
it down just a little bit. All right.
Yeah. All right, cool. Okay, here it goes. It's called Something More. Well, here's another day to let go of the old and rediscover why you came. And there's no other way to find out but to live and try again. And you know it will be worth it in the end to go in to the fires and right off the deep end, re-emerge more inspired and come out to understand this feeling of believing in something more, something more. We all run away 'cause we're taught to compromise if you want to survive. And there comes a time to choose between playing it safe and standing in your truth. It's a journey, and we are learning to go in to the fires and right off the deep end, re-emerge more inspired and come out to understand this feeling of believing in something more. This feeling of believing in something more, something more, something more. Oh, this feeling of believing. Oh, this feeling of believing. believing, this feeling something more. Let's go in to the fires and right off the deep end, re-emerge more inspired and come out to understand this feeling of believing in something more. Oh, oh, this feeling of believing in something more. Oh, 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 this feeling of believing something more, so much more. Oh, yeah. Thanks everyone for receiving that. May it bless you on your journey and just feed your spirit that the beautiful, indomitable human spirit that's persevered through so much. May it feed you and feed all our hearts through these waves of struggle and challenge. We have it in us. We have it in us. We can get into that stream. There is a way, and maybe it's surrender, maybe it's letting go, but maybe it's like getting up, doing your practice, getting in there, and giving it another go. So, go get it.
Yeah. Theo, I'm glad we're going to have one more song from you as we close up today. And I know it's your new song, which we can't wait to hear. And you can go to entheomusic.com. He's got so much, a lot of the background music behind some of the Gene Keys stuff, if you're a Gene Keys person, has been Theo. Entheo with Amma, and you're doing some wonderful producing and some new songs are coming. Theo, I'm so excited to have your voice come out into the world a little bit more and more every day.
Thanks for calling me out, T.
Yeah.
Calling me in.
Okay, one more time tonight.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to turn it over to Deborah and Scott. They have some announcements, and then I just want to take some time with everybody that's still on for us just to drop in and do just a little meditation where we take this energy that we've been generating. We just touch into that current of the purpose inside of us and we pulse the field. So Scott and Deborah, thanks for hosting us tonight. It's been so great. And we're coming down to the end now. And I hope you got a lot of contributions, and I hope people are really considering how to support you guys going forward. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, Teresa. Once again, you've put together just a really, really beautiful show. Very heartfelt. Comments are wonderful, and just so many special moments. Wendy, so beautiful. Oh my God.
Wow.
Anyway, it's a wonderful job. So this is our Global Peace Tribe announcement moment, and this is where we want to let you know about some of the wonderful things that are coming up with the Global Peace Tribe. And one thing that we have started doing, we have been very selective. We're selective about who we have on the show. It's wonderful. In a way, it's hard because Deborah and I get now dozens of requests to be on the show as presenters, as musicians, and also lots of people wanting to sponsor and be a part of it. And I guess we're influencers now. So we've become very selective. But one of the things that we are doing is inviting all of you always to come join this Global Peace Tribe. And we're all going to collaborate. We work with Ben Bowler. We work with Teresa. We work with Reverend Deborah Moldau. We are working with all the different organizations and people that you see. And we're all kind of still figuring out how we can be these butterfly cells, these imaginal cells, finding each other and connecting. So please, if you haven't already joined, go to globalpeacetribe.com and register so that we've got your email address and we can let you know about all that we're up to and all the collaborations that are going to be continuing. Also, again, thank you everybody who has sponsored and donated to us tonight. It really means a lot. There's another wonderful win-win, and that is the last few weeks you've heard me talking about a product I've been using for a long time, Qualia. And I use several other products. I use Mind, I use the Immune, I use the Life. And the company is owned by two friends of mine, Daniel Schmachtenberger and his brother James Schmachtenberger. Last night, I had James and the two scientists who create these products on my Straight Talk show. And Deborah's going to put a link in where you can go back and watch last night's show where the scientists talk about these amazing formulations. So a wonderful win-win is buy the product and we get a nice affiliate commission. It is not a multi-level marketing company, but we do receive an affiliate commission for people that buy. And in exchange, you can use the code SNA for Saturday Night Alive, SNA, as a promo code to get these amazing products. And they're real. I've been using them for a couple of years. Most of you recognize I get a lot done for a 65-year-old man. My brain is still doing quite well. So, and to show you just a very brief, it's a minute video, here's a little bit about the Qualia products.
The brain is the most complex biological system we know of. Its ability to make sense of the world around us is nothing short of stunning. It has the capacity to make your heart beat and legs dance, and at the same time, compose your masterpiece. We nourish our bodies, but imagine what could be possible if we could further support and enhance our minds. Meet Qualia. After years of research and development, we were able to create nootropics that comprehensively support the brain's abilities, both immediate and long-term. Qualia products are made of the highest quality ingredients designed to improve focus, energy, creativity, and mood. The success of your goals, the quality of your relationships, and the richness of your life depend on the nourishment of your mind.
I've never felt something so amazingly powerful in the best way.
And I started taking Qualia, and my experience has been really fantastic.
It's just like all these things that the brain naturally needs. The clarity, the productivity, the focus is something that for me is absolutely priceless.
End the fog. Experience Qualia.
So Deborah's been putting into the chat box a link, but for those of you watching on Facebook, here is where you go. You go to Neurohacker, whoops, I had it there for a moment ago. You go to neurohacker.com and right off the bat, just give your email address and that gets you 50% off on your very first order. And then when you're checking out, go to, and what you can do is go here. I suggest at least start with Mind or get the bundle. And the bundle works together really, really well. And then put in SNA, you get another 15% off. So this is a wonderful win-win. It really, these are great products. They help us to think and be clear and to be at our best, which we want to do, which is part of living our life and purpose, is having the energy and the mental clarity to do that. Thanks for listening. And I'm going to turn it over to my partner, Deborah.
Thank you, Scott. And yes, I started taking Qualia as we started collaborating with them, and it's been really good. I don't have those downs in the afternoon after working all day, so it's really good. And I want to thank you so much for all your donations. It really means a lot. It really helps us go forward. And there's other ways you can help Saturday Night Alive go forward. Just promote to your friends and family and whoever. We're going to put the promotional video of our next show in the chat room like we usually do. And if you can get that out there for next week's show, that's a great way to help promote. If you'd like to sponsor and actually have your business or your message be part of the whole show, that's available as well. Or if you'd like to volunteer and give some of your time and expertise, that's really helpful. Or if you have a superpower, like your very expertise is marketing or business development, we're really building our team now to go forward. So all of that's possible. We really love collaboration. So I'm going to put all those links in the chat room, and you can always contact us on email for any of that. And we have a great show coming up again next week, which is Thanksgiving weekend. It is the powerful magic of gratitude, and we're going to show you a short promo video to let you know what's going to be happening on that.
We hear about the attitude of gratitude, or just be happy, or even smile though your heart is breaking. How do we genuinely do that when there is so much challenge and even crisis all around us? On November 27th, Saturday Night Alive is bringing internationally acclaimed luminaries together to provide their wisdom on the powerful magic of gratitude throughout all aspects of life. Janice Kaplan is a journalist, TV producer, and the author of the New York Times bestseller, The Gratitude Diaries, and her newest book, The Genius of Women. Janice was the editor-in-chief of Parade magazine and the executive producer of more than 30 primetime network television specials. Nayurka is a transformational leader and mentor who worked side by side with Tony Robbins for 5 years. She is devoted to empowering people all over the world, uniting the world of business with essential wisdom of mind, body, spirit. Dr. Brenda Wade is an internationally recognized author and television personality. Brenda provides a unique blend of psychology, science, and spirituality, and has become one of the most renowned psychologists in America for her TV programs, best-selling books, and breakthrough seminars. Louis Schwartzberg is an award-winning cinematographer, director, and producer. His most recent feature film, Fantastic Fungi, opened in local theaters throughout the US to rave reviews and is highly popular on Netflix. As always, we are bringing fabulous live musicians to perform throughout the show. This week, we are excited to present the wildly popular Brothers Corin. We are also bringing back Sarita, who is a favorite on Saturday Night Alive. The spirit of gratitude. We are also offering select members of our audience to share what they are grateful for. There will also be a very special after show hosted by Jay Mayer and Light Touch, and featuring swing 60s music, Mighty Arcturus, Missy Galore, and other surprises.
I'd like to bless the Global Peace Tribe and everyone watching this.
This show is hosted by beloveds Scott Katamas and Deborah Giusti. So join us on Saturday night, November 27th, for the powerful magic of gratitude. Register now at globalpeacetribe.com so that you can participate in a special early show at 5:30 p.m. Pacific Time prior to the main show at 6 p.m.
So, you all want to join us, and it's really important that you come to the early Zoom Room show. So those of you watching on Facebook, make sure you've registered, because the early show is going to be you. We're going to open it up to any of you that want to offer something that you're grateful for. And so join us at 5:30 next Saturday night, a week from tonight. And come on in early so that I can bring you on camera to share your gratitudes. And if some of you are shy about being on camera, then you can put it in the chat box and I will read it to you. I'll read it to the audience. And so it's going to be really kind of fun. And we love meeting you. It's wonderful. I've been meeting many of you through the special events that we do that are done as Zoom meetings. And this is going to be another way that we can bring some of you on and actually get to know you. And I want to talk just briefly about our upcoming shows in December, because we've got 4 wonderful shows. We're collaborating with Marcy Shimoff on December 4th, and we will have Marianne Williamson and David Pramal and Mitten and Dr. Sue Morter joining us that night. December 11th, we're going to have Andrew Harvey, Reverend Michael Beckwith, the Twin Ray are coming back on the 11th and the 18th. And on the 25th, we've got something very special. It will be Christmas night. So after you've all feasted, you can kick back and enjoy Saturday Night Alive. So that's what we've got scheduled for December. I also just want to remind everybody about the other two shows that we do every week. And these are shows that I've been hosting as well for 18 months. And it's really wonderful because many of you have become regulars coming to these shows every week as well. Again, it's part of the way that we build community. It's also a way that we get to know so many of the people you meet briefly on Saturday Night Live in much more depth. And tomorrow is one of those examples. I just recently met Reverend Deborah Moldau through her participation in our shows, and she's wonderful. She's this amazing woman who does a lot to make the world very special. She's the director of the Evolutionary Leaders Circle, and we're going to also learn about her Garden of Light, and she's my special guest tomorrow morning. So join us at 10 o'clock Pacific time tomorrow. And also on my Sacred Sunday show, we always are interactive. So you can ask myself or Deborah any questions you might have about what does it mean to be an evolutionary leader and what's really going on and how is our planet and how are we coming together. She is very connected to how that's all happening. So that's going to be very exciting. The last show I want to talk about is going to be a special one also. And it's next Friday night's Straight Talk. And I want to just say it's with a heavy heart that as a coach, I am witnessing so many friendships breaking up, so many couples and families in terrible disarray because of different belief systems about vaccination or not vaccination, Trump or not Trump, blue state versus red state. Now, here on Saturday Night Live, we don't take a political stance. We are here to inspire and to provide you with the amazing speakers and presenters and performers that inspire us and inform us. So we don't take a political stance other than one, unity. We're here to promote unification, oneness, connection. And so next Friday night, I've invited several leaders, global leaders, Bruce Lyon, who's world famous, Michelle Anderson, you all know her probably from her hosting her radio show, Larissa Stowe, one of our very favorite musical performers and the leader of the Shakti tribe, and then Trish and myself to talk about how can we honor our personal integrity, our dynamic beliefs, and still hold space for others and not judge or shame those with different beliefs. So that's going to be next Friday night at 7:30 Pacific time. I invite you to come and join the conversation. So those are our announcements for tonight. Thank you everybody for listening, and we look forward to seeing you on all these upcoming events that are coming up for us. And I'm turning it back over to the wonderful Teresa Collins.
Thank you so much, Scott. And I see Deborah's on. Hi, Deborah. Oh, I'm so excited that you're going to be on. Can we spotlight Deborah for a minute?
Yeah, I didn't even know she was with us. Hi, Deborah.
Yeah, look at that. Hello, beautiful. Have you been with us for a while?
Looking forward to tomorrow.
Yeah, thank you so much, Deborah, for all that you do in the world and with the evolutionary leaders. And I'm so glad that you're going to be on the show and that we're going to get more from you. So nice to see you. You look radiant tonight. Yeah, beautiful. All right. Well, I think it's we're just going to close off with just a little short meditation, just a little opportunity for us to take all that we've been kind of experiencing tonight. I've been loving looking at the chat. A couple of people said, can we save the chat? There's so much wisdom here. There's been so much love shared tonight. And I just want us to give us an opportunity just to drop into the current of our purpose in whatever way that we do that. And just to have a minute to nourish ourselves and pulse the planet. And then we'll close out the evening with a new song from Theo Grace, which I know you're really going to love. So I am going to share a little music, just a little background music while we're doing that. I'm getting that set up right now. And Scott, I think that you are not on mute in the little typing. Wow. Oh, yeah. Let's all just take a moment to feel the bottom of our feet again. And just to let this whole experience tonight of being together in community and exploring purpose and our part in this beautiful dance of life that we all share. At this precarious and precious and challenging and potentiated time. Let's let the feelings that we've experienced to just really live inside of us. And through our feet, let's send a wave of love and gratitude to this beautiful planet we call home, our Mother Earth. It's up to us. It's up to us to shift the tide. You know, when we're in heart coherence, we're in greater alignment with the vibration of our mother planet and the sun and the cosmos, and with the shift that's occurring on all scales. So the more that we can move out of our heads and into our feet, into our bellies, or we can allow our intuition to start guiding the way. And to let our actions be guided from our heart. As we breathe in and out of our hearts. As we attune to this great symphony of life that is unfolding, and we open to listen for the unique tone of our love. In the moment that we can hear it, we can let ourselves enter the waves and be carried away by the current of our purpose. It requires that we let go of what we think it's supposed to be. And we open to being moved in the moment as life rises up to meet us. And we can choose to bring more love to whatever comes. That's living in the current of your purpose. Is that in every moment you choose love as your response. And so in this moment, let us send our love to one another on this call right now. Scott and Deborah and all of the team in Saturday Night Alive. And let's pulse this planet right now with our shared heart and send a wave of care, a wave of love, a wave of compassion, a wave of purpose expressed. Let nothing be left untouched by the quality and presence of our shared heart. Right now, right now. And now bring your hands to the center of your own heart and let the love that you've been spreading out into the world, send it into every cell of your being to empower your unique purpose, your unique note. So that all starts right in here. And the unique expression of life that you are is what life needs most from you right now. Thank you for spending time tonight exploring the current of our purpose. And know that everything we need is within us. Everything we need is within us. It's right here. We just have to open to it. We need to have the courage to ride through whatever comes with our heart open. And I'm going to invite Theo to take us out into this evening. Have us just be sharing our love out into the world and knowing that everything we need is within us. Theo, Theo, take us away.
When I'm lost and alone, don't know where to go, looking out for the way in. And I need a reminder on the winding road. Send me a message saying all I need is within me. I'm breathing with my heartbeat, standing on my 2 feet, singing all I need is within me. I'm living in the love that's given me all I need. Hey, 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 oh, oh. If I rush and I run and it's never enough. I'm left feeling empty, and I need a reminder on the winding road. Listen to the message for me, saying all I need is within me. I'm breathing with my heartbeat, standing on my 2 feet, singing all I need is within me. I'm living in the love, it's giving me all I need. Hey, 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 oh, oh. Hey, hey, yeah. Oh, oh, yes, all I need is within me. I'm breathing with my heartbeat, standing on my 2 feet, singing all I need is within me. I'm living in the love, it's giving me all. Oh, oh, all I need is within me. I'm breathing with my heartbeat, standing on my 2 feet, singing all I need is within me. I'm living in the love, it's giving me all I need. Hey, hey, oh, 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 all I need, hey, hey, is within me. All I need is within me, is within me and you, yeah. All we need is right here in this breathing, breathing breath. Take it in, this is your life. Take it in, it's right here, right now. Take it in and trust that all you need is within. Thank you, Scott. Thank you, Deborah. Thank you, Teresa. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. Thank you, everyone who made this possible. We are doing it. This is us living the dream. And we're going to keep gathering and pulsing this coherence and trusting that everything we have is right here, right in the heart. And we can do this. We got this. Love to you all. Thank you.
Theo, that new song, it is so catchy. Like, I just want to sing it all the time. And it's really the key, right, to living in our purpose is to trust that all we need is within us. And when we tune to that and we let that energy take us and then we put it into action, we say, yes, we go for it. Oh, I love it. You're going to have to record that one. And
I know. I'll get it to you ASAP.
Okay, great. We'll make sure that everybody on this call gets it. Yeah. And I just want to say, if you've enjoyed tonight and want to have more of this kind of, how do we cultivate coherence together? How do we make a difference in the world right now? Please join us on the Global Coherence Pulse every month. And please come and check out the islandsofcoherence.net. Those are 2 playgrounds that I'm playing in right now. And it's dedicated spaces and offerings and events that are really for us that are really exploring this and going for it and knowing that all we need is within us and we just need to be in a community to let it out. So Scott and Deborah, thank you for the privilege of being able to partner with you on these pulses, on these Saturday Night Alive events every quarter. And I hope we'll continue it into the new year, and blessings to everyone that's been participating. Your participation matters. We're making a difference. We're doing it right now in the face of everything we're facing. Thank you.
It's a beautiful, beautiful job. Please, everybody, join us next week. I want to acknowledge Jay and Jan. They're going to be doing a special after show. There they are. They create a lot of the videos. I want to acknowledge our wonderful friend, the wild monk, the wild abbot of the Mystic Monastery, Jerry, who's been with us.
Hi, Jerry.
And there's Reverend Deborah Moldow. Please, join us in the morning. We're going to have a wonderful Sacred Sunday. Thank you, everybody. If you need to get the chat and you weren't able to save it, some can't, send me a private message and I'll send it to you that way. Thank you, Teresa. Great job. God's blessings. Hey, there are our honey of the heart. There they are.
Yeah.
Yay.
You back from your date night?
Date night's going good.
All right.
Good. Thank you guys so much for joining us tonight and adding your love.
Awesome.
I really loved it.
Our honor.
Thanks for having us.
Beautiful. All right. Well, thank you, everybody. God's blessings. Have a beautiful evening, and hopefully we'll see you all